Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Today we're going to be looking at a new microfiber buffing cloth from the Ragmaster, and it's called the Minx.
Lil guns down, Lil guns down, Lil guns down in the ground. Lil guns down, boy, or I will lay you down. Say your last prayer, and don't look back here no more. The Lord can't help you, you've gone too far for sure. I'm on the highway, hitting kind of loud, singing all the time.
Okay guys, so today we're going to be looking at this new offering from the Ragmaster in the UK, or the Rag Company in the US, and it's called the Minx. So the basic stuff with this towel, okay, it is 16 by 16, costs £3.75 over here in the UK. You can check out the prices for it in the US. I'll put the links in the description as always. It's an edgeless buffing cloth, so it's got that ultrasonic edgeless cut on it, so there's no border. It's a different type of microfiber, okay? It's easiest way to describe it is it's similar to like a fleece that you'd wear on your jacket, okay? And they call it a coral fleece cut, or coral fleece microfiber. And we'll come back to that in a second. The towel is 450 GSM and comes in a range of colours that you can see on the ragmaster.co.uk or the Rag Company's website. So with microfiber buffing cloths, everybody's kind of got their own favourite, and that favourite will vary depending what you want from a towel, okay? And the one thing you hear people talk about is kind of bite on one side of the scale, where a cloth, you know, you can find you just get more purchase on the paint and it's more effective at removing products, buffing on that paintwork a little bit harder, okay? And then at the other end of that scale you have absorption, how the hell do you spell it? Absorption or cushioning. Okay, where the towel has less bite and it's kind of softer on the kind of paintwork, okay? But generally when it's like that, it tends to be have more absorption capability than the towels with more bite, okay? Now typically up here, the more absorption and the more cushioning you've got, the higher the GSM are. So most of these towels up this end are high GSM. Down this end you have low GSM typically, okay? So maybe, you know, 200 through to 300, you know, and then working your way up, and up here, you know, up to the maybe thousands, where there's like the Eagle, sorry, not the Eagle, the Ragmaster and Rag Company Avalanche, which I think is 1,100, which is getting roughly about as high as it goes. Okay, and also you have the different formats of cloth. So generally the ones that are split pile or open pile, in other words just the strands sticking up, tend to be more on the absorption side than bite side, okay? And the ones that are closed loop, so they're little loops of microfiber, if you like, tend to be down here and have more bite. But there are some exceptions to that, where there's some closed loop towels that are actually quite absorbent and quite plush, but you know, generally that's your thing. So what I wanted to do, the reason I wanted to draw this is because I wanted to kind of put this coral minx up on the scale, and I don't know if you can even see, yeah, you can see that, bit of a reflection. And I wanted to kind of say where it was on the scale of kind of bite versus absorption. So up here you'd have something like the Everest, their big fat pillowy kind of cloth, which is highly absorbent but has so much cushioning. I don't tend to favour it for kind of wax removal. I use it more on kind of with detail sprays and kind of soaking stuff up, drying the car. And then kind of here in the middle you'd have your kind of typically your 400 to 500 kind of GSM open pile stuffs like the Eagle, which I find is just about, you know, we talked about the sweet spot, but for me it's got plenty, the Eagle's got plenty of kind of cushioning. But it's also got enough purchase to kind of be able to get your polish off and work it reasonably hard over your kind of paintwork, okay? So the Eagle sits somewhere in the middle. It's like the sweet spot that I talked about in my buffing cloth video for me. I would say the Minx towel is just a little bit more this way in absorption and cushioning. It's not right up here. It would be sort of somewhere around here. So I found it slightly softer on the paintwork than the Eagle. It had tons of absorption. This towel, let me come out of this view. Hold on. Let me just get the autofocus sorted out. We're doing stuff on the fly here. So this towel kind of feels a little bit softer to me than the Eagle Edgeless. It's quite interesting because the two sides of the towel are slightly different. One of them is slightly fluffier, and the other side's more like the outside of like a fleece jacket you get. And that side feels slightly flatter and slightly denser than the fluffy side. Both of them buff on your paintwork beautifully. You can't really tell which side you're using. So for me, this towel copes absolutely fine with removing polishes and waxes, okay? Again, like any towels that sit in the middle of the spectrum, when you get products that are hard to remove and you're really working the cloth hard, okay? These soft ones, they can get out of their comfort zone, and that's perhaps when some of those shorter kind of lower GSM buffing cloths and other formats can come in handy to have. But for me, working this towel on polishes and waxes just for the quick test I've done was absolutely fine. The main thing is how safe and soft it is on the paintwork, okay? And it's cheaper than the Eagle Edgeless, which is interesting because the quality of this is fantastic. So one other important thing to say about this microfiber, I've not seen any other offering like this, okay? It's completely unique. I've not seen another fleece style kind of microfiber, and it is incredibly soft on the paintwork. So the quality of it feels fantastic, okay, but it's actually cheaper than the Eagle Edgeless, and using it on polishes and waxes it performs fine. So I was listening to the Rag Company's kind of YouTube channel, and they were saying this is like a kind of alternative to the Eagle Edgeless, similar in function. You'd use it for the same things. I think primarily product removal and using it on your paintwork because of the fact that it is so safe and soft and absorbent, okay? But it can, like I just said, it can cope with removal of those kind of sticky products like waxes and polish without any problems, okay? But I always say sometimes you get really hard curing products that are going to really pull on a microfiber, and when they do, sometimes using a kind of open pile or split pile microfiber, if you like, isn't always the best way to go. So that's why it's good to have a whole range of towels, and Ragmaster and Rag Company do the closed loop, and they do much lower GSM ones, whatever your favourite is. But this 450 kind of GSM borderless buffing cloth is where I like to go to, you know, when I'm removing kind of polishes or waxes. One thing about this towel as well that I need to mention in this video is I don't think I've ever seen a fleece style buffing cloth before, so it's totally unique and new to the market as far as I know. So it's well worth, whenever anything that's different comes out and there's nothing else like it, it's well worth taking a look, guys. So if you're kind of interested in microfiber and you have a kind of range of microfiber and you like to see different offerings, you can go and pick yourself one of these up from the Rag Company or the Ragmaster, you know, for a few pennies or a few pounds, and have a look at it and see what you think. But for me, I'm really impressed with the quality, okay? And I don't understand why it's cheaper than the Eagle, because it feels every bit as good in terms of quality. In fact, even softer. So this was a relatively short video, guys, just to give you a heads up on a new product to market. This is the Minx towel from the Ragmaster and the Rag Company. Well worth a look.